What is this mechanical antique object with a crank? It was found in the basement of a multi-generational inherited house. It's heavy, about the size of a toolbox, with no visible text, and there are nails on the bottom. So at one point, it was affixed to something wooden. It makes noise when cranked, but the visible mechanics do not move. Any ideas? It's a version of the Edison home phonograph. The machine had two diaphragm and needle units, one for recording and one for playback. When one would speak into a mouthpiece, the sound vibrations would be indented onto the wax cylinder by the recording needle in a vertical groove pattern. Its introduction in 1895 coincided with the spring motor and predated the introduction of the Triumph name. The factory's 4-minute gearing made its debut with Model D in early and late 1908. What is this spring-like coil around the solid wire with decorative corners, found with vintage men's accessories? It is about 3 inches wide, it doesn't have any hooks, nothing on it stretches, and there's no text or number inscriptions. I have tried a Google image search, without luck. I imagine it is for use with men's clothing, based on the other things it was found with, like tie clips, collar bars, and cufflinks. Any ideas? It is a collar attachment to keep the collar tips down, similar to the spiffy collar stay. It was patented on October 4th, 1932 by Herman Belson of Chicago, Illinois. My father, who was in the military, had one. This is how it looks under the collar and out of sight. One size adjusts itself to fit all collar lengths. What are these things on the roofs of concrete buildings, like bunkers found in the forest close to Spa, Belgium? They are more than 2 meters tall, and each blade has some mechanism so it comes forward or backward. Some of the blades have scratches and even some holes, maybe made by bullets. It's vertical, so I'm assuming not for airplanes. In OpenStreetMaps, it's described as non-identified structure. Does anyone know anything about it? These are Bremer targets, named after their inventor Captain René Bremer of the Carabinieri Regiment, and were used by civilians as well as by soldiers and civic guards. It was a shooting range tendered for the town of Spa in 1905 by the company Bétons Armés Hennebique, and the facilities were inaugurated in 1907. The installations allowed shooting with weapons of war, but also shooting with revolvers, rifles, bows, and even crossbows at distances of 12 to 1,000 meters. It is elliptical and has a large diameter of 2.40 meters. When the bullet hits any part of the target, an electric current acts on the corresponding part of the reduced target, and thus automatically indicates to the shooter the place where the target was hit and the point obtained. It was a truly remarkable system for its time. What is this metal, valve-looking object found in a shallow creek bed in northwest Ohio? About 3 inches tall, it fits in the palm of your hand and appears to be old. I've searched old valve, but didn't narrow it down much. There are no visible markings on it other than the letter C. Any ideas? That is the tank fill valve to a case toilet. My grandmother had them in her house. They are the low-slung silent toilets from the 60s and 70s, and the internal brass mechanisms were pure crap. I still have recurring nightmares about that piece of crap valve leaking and the hell you went through fixing them. No wonder you found it in a creek. What is this wooden tray or table-like contraption with metal figures on posts and a central ring that looks like it's for hanging, approximately 60 centimeters square and tall? And the tray or shelf parts don't seem to move. The metal embossed designs on the side that seem to me to be Asian-inspired. I found it in a gallery at a heritage hotel. There were 2 of them sitting on the ground despite the ring. Any ideas are appreciated. That's a dowry box, specifically a Qing Dynasty red lacquered gold and silver box from 1644 to 1911. In the dowry, there must be a red dowry book, which records the items and utensils of the wedding, as well as the dowry gifts given by relatives and friends. Among the dowry of a wealthy family, there are also farm deeds, forest documents hidden by the bride's personal maid, and pressed silver ingots at the bottom of the box. The load of silver coins showed that the girl's family was extremely wealthy. Because in the Qing dynasty, if a girl didn't have a dowry, she hardly got married, even for the royal clan female members. What is this small electric device found in a house that was built in 1928? It's about 6 inches long and 4 inches tall. There is a brass-colored motor-looking thing on one side, with 2 copper-colored tubes and multiple wires. There is a non-working bakelite push-button doorbell installed, and I've always wondered what the original doorbell looked like and found this thing in the basement. Is this the doorbell? If not, what is it? This is an old telephone interface, probably Western Electric. It has a lightning protector, and I'm thinking the 2 brown devices are fuses, but not 100% sure on that. Be careful with it. I've never seen anything that was more obviously asbestos than that mounting pad, and dear Lord, those ragged edges on it. Do not disturb that thing. Get a professional in to assess and safely remove it. What is this huge cast iron wheel or drive system found mounted in the basement of an 1800s 3-story building in the northeastern US, approximately 6 feet or 2 meters from the floor on an original wall? The building was used as a general store, department store, and luncheonette, and back to general store. It weighs a few hundred pounds and took several folks to move. A clean machine oil leaked out when removed, and it seemed like there was a belt, but no motor was present. Thanks in advance for the help. They're called line shafts. Prior to the advent of practical electric motors, industrial buildings, factories, workshops, etc. would have one big engine on the ground floor or in the basement, connected to all machinery in the building via an elaborate system of flat leather belts or ropes and overhead shafts and pulleys. The line shafts would turn continuously all the working day, and each machine would have a clutch to connect it to the drive as needed. What is this wooden trinket with possibly ivory inlay? I found this at a thrift store and it was stuck shut. It matches an ivory inlay side table I have, so I decided to buy it to see what's inside. It's roughly 10 inches in height, and the sides fold out and are supported by the base. I tried searching online and couldn't find anything similar. Thank you. It's a serving tray made in India in the 40s. I believe the wood is teak, and the white inlay is usually bone, though newer pieces may even use white plastic. The metal ones are ubiquitous. I've never seen them in wood, and yours is a particularly lovely one. My grandma had the metal one. She took it to church dinners to put her pies on. What is this thing I found on a beach in northeast Scotland, in a place called Cullen? It was really wedged between 2 rocks at low tides. It is made of stone, and at one point had a spiral on it. Any ideas? Please let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.